Hi, I'm Jamie, and this is JJ. Welcome to Unscripted with JJ and Jamie. On today's episode, we're going to talk about work-life balance. And if you know me, you know that's a topic I like to stay away from because I like to work.
Work for you.
I know. It's big because I love what I do. So it's like I don't really think about it a lot. But I guess I do think about it a little bit. But we do work a lot. So we have the magical vacation planners, but we also have properties, but we also have our kids. We have our parents. We've got a lot of stuff going on. So what do you do to get away from work or to get away from the stresses of work? What do you do?
That's easy.
I know the answer to that.
There's a couple things, 3 or 4 things. 1, I golf. 2, I fish. 3, family. 4, baby Jackson.
That's really what I do like to go to the spa. We go once a week. You and I do. We've kind of gotten in the habit of that because I said we need to do something that's not work related, and that's the spa. But when people ask me, they're like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "My hobby is work. I love to work. If I'm not working, I'm looking at properties or I'm talking to agents. So I'm always doing something because I love the people that
enjoy that.
I do. I really do enjoy it. I mean, I work with people that I love. And so whether it's the agents, staff, clients, everything, my world is intertwined with my job. Mm-hmm. So, and even my best friend, even though she doesn't work with me, she loves Disney. So it's like, so if we're not, even though we're not technically working, we're usually either planning a vacation or planning a trip to the park or doing something, but she loves Disney like I do. So it's like, we're doing something magical, even with somebody that doesn't work with me. But I would say non-MVP, non-real estate, it's definitely baby Jackson. And he came at probably one of the best times for multiple reasons. Mm-hmm. So everybody knows baby Bert. Well, baby Bert isn't a baby anymore.
That's right.
He's in junior high. And he don't really have time for us like he used to. We used to have Bert around. Like Bert loved to be around us. We loved to be around him. But he's growing up now. He's got friends.
He's got more friends.
I heard he's got a girlfriend.
A girlfriend?
What's
her name?
I don't know her name.
She's got to be cute.
I bet she's adorable. And I bet I would like her unless she's mean to him, and then I wouldn't like her. But I'm very protective of Bert. Of all the kids. But Bert, he just has, I always say he has an entrepreneurial spirit. Like he thinks outside of the box. He's a thinker.
Bert's a thinker.
He's a thinker. And he's a negotiator. And he's always thinking of ideas. And I love that. And
one of my favorite ideas that he thought about?
What's that?
He and his buddy Zach.
Yeah.
They were talking about becoming entrepreneurs. And they decided they figured out the perfect job for them, the perfect company to start. And once they told me about it, I started thinking about that. I was like, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Because when I was young, again, going back a few episodes, I talked about what I did to hustle to earn money to help my mom, with food around the house, taking out people's garbage, changing mouse traps, going to the grocery store, raking their yards, cutting their grass. But how did this one slip? It was spectacular. Washing garbage cans.
Do you know how they came up with that idea?
No, I don't.
It was at Kalia's, I think her graduation party. After the party and after the garbage came and picked up their trash at their house, Bianca washed out the trash can because there was from sodas and cake and all of that inside the trash can.
And she wanted their smells.
Yeah. So Bianca knew that she needed, and so Bert was telling me this, and I was like, that's how things are thought of, Bert. Like you've found a problem and a solution to that problem. And he said, I sit there and he said, I watched my mom clean the garbage can. I said, did you help her? He said, no. And he said, but if she paid me, I was like, Bert, you need to help your mom. You don't expect your mom to pay you. But that's how businesses are formed. But here was the thing. He and Zach wanted a video game, and the video game was expensive. And so they sit there and they thought of a way to raise money without asking, because we've told him, you're getting to that age where you need to not be asking for money. You need to start thinking, how can you make money? How can you earn money? Don't ask for a handout. Do work to get the money. And so he and Zach put this whole business plan together about cleaning trash cans. But it started, the original idea came from Bianca cleaning her trash can.
Well, you know, Jada had an original idea when she was very young. And it's when I'm going to tell this story. How about I tell this story?
Okay.
So when Jada was young, she's a busybody. She was always wanting to do things with her friends, have fun, bring them over, all kinds of girlfriends in there. And they would just make a mess in her room. You know, she throws things all around.
Oh, she was not known for keeping a clean room.
And, you know, I would always go say, hey, clean your room. Or you would tell her to clean her room. Well, guess what? She's so social. She wanted to be with her friends and not clean her room. So remember the time I even took off the door once because I thought it's going to bother.
We thought it would embarrass her.
Yeah.
It didn't.
And it did not work at all. So this one particular time, you had asked her to clean up the room. And you had gone back and she negotiated with you and said, you know, you guys came up with the idea, you'll give her $20 if she cleaned her room.
Yeah, we were having friends over that night. And I was like, you've got to clean. Like, this is embarrassing.
Yes. And this was, I think, her first initiation into entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And I can remember your reaction when you could not even get mad.
I couldn't.
You couldn't get mad at her. So Jada, being Jada, looked at this. I can just imagine her looking at this saying, I've got an opportunity to make $20 if I clean that room. I can see her saying, I'm not going to clean the room. I'm going to call a friend down the street, which she did.
She did.
I'm going to call the friend down the street, and I'm going to offer her $10 to clean my room. Mm-hmm. So you walk out of the room.
I walk out and Jada's watching TV.
About an hour, Jada is on the couch watching TV while her friend is in her room cleaning her room. And
I asked the friend, I said, what are you doing? She said, Jada's giving me $10 to clean her room. I said, that little stinker. Like, she literally just paid somebody half of what I was giving her, and she's in there watching TV. And her friend is happy as a lark. Happy as a lark to be making $10. So that either meant, one, I was overpaying Jada, or Jada just outsmarted me.
Absolutely.
I think she outsmarted me.
Yeah. Yes. But no, getting back to Bert and Zach, you know, they figured it out.
Yeah.
They figured out something at their age.
Oh, my lands.
How to make money.
I just thought of something. So we were talking about work-life balance, and we were talking about the family side of things. And even that turns into work. I always say, like, you can't let your guard down. Like, there's always opportunities. There's opportunities in every aspect. So here we talked about Bert. And we said, Bert's different. Bert's, you know, so maybe that's why he always wanted to be around us, because he's always striking up ideas, and he knows that we like to talk business, and we know we like to do that. So maybe that's why Bert, you know, was attracted, because, you know, he knows we like to talk about that stuff. Jada, the fact that she outsmarted us or outsmarted me in a business transaction, you know, I was like, I called you at work and I said, I can't be mad at her. I was like, I said, embarrassingly enough, I'm proud of her that her brain is thinking on this level, you know, because I did the same thing. I'm like, I work harder so I could pay somebody to clean the house. So, you know, if you work hard enough, you can make enough money that you can still make a profit and pay somebody to do the stuff that you don't want to do. Like, isn't that the name of the game? And so you talk about work-life balance. See, I find that even when I'm not working, I'm working. Yes. Like I do. My brain is always thinking. If I'm awake, I'm thinking of thinking of stuff.
Well, I think it goes back to what are you after? What are you chasing?
Yeah.
You know, and I think that when people get into where they're only chasing money, then I think it's totally different than the chase itself. You know, when I think of the way we do things is, and what I think of is, I chase things to excel at them and to be the best that I absolutely can be. This is a travel company. So what I'm chasing is to be the best travel company, or be the most adored travel company, or
most respected.
Be the most respected travel company. That's what I'm chasing. So when you look at work-life balance, then it doesn't feel like work, because you're not working for funds. You're working to be the best, and you do whatever it takes to be the best.
Yeah. I've had people ask me that. They're like, when will it be enough? Like, because like I've always said that, like we've never chased the money. I mean, people have kind of accused us of that. I'm like, you don't know us very well, because like it's not the money that motivates. And I think that that's what separates really the good entrepreneurs. I mean, things have to budget, like they have to balance and budget out. Like, you know, you can't be spending more than you're making.
Correct.
But I mean, that's just common sense stuff. But if it does become I'm chasing a dollar, it really does change the narrative. And we see that even within our agents, you know, because if you chase the dollar and your focus is the dollar, it's not the client. You know, I always say, if you take care of your clients, the money will come. Like it'll come. But if you make it about the money, but that's also coming from somebody that did a job for 8 years before I was talked into making $200 a week. You know, I think that as entrepreneurs, you have to be okay not making money. You know, you have to be okay. There's years it's going to be better than others. There's, you know, like you can't make it about that. Now, some do, and some do a great job. That's just what's worked for us. And what we have seen, agents that focus on that dollar don't do as well as the ones that, and it's also a more peaceful, like you have more peace, I think. You know, because like what happens if we're not the best?
Yes.
I mean, nothing changes. You know, we're still, you know,
still chasing.
We're still chasing,
and that's
you
what
know.
Makes it really good. And when you talk about work-life balance, you know, sometimes you come into the office or you start your day and it does not go the way you think it's going to go.
Very seldom does it.
Exactly. You can plan out a day, and most days it's not going to go exactly how you think it's going to be. That's where the work-life balance come in. And, you know, because I really enjoy sometimes getting away, refreshing myself, you know, being out on the golf course, playing around a golf, or going fishing, you know, for a couple hours, and just allow my mind to relax and not think about anything. And for me, new, fresh ideas come up when I relax my mind.
A lot of people will be surprised that I don't book more than 2 things on my calendar. Maybe once or twice a week, I might have 3 things. So that is if we're going to dinner with friends, or if I have a hair appointment, or if I have a schedule with an agent, or that's on the calendar that, you know, is at this time I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be a guest speaker on a podcast. Or I'm going to be a guest. I'm going to have a guest appearance on a team call or something like that. I don't put more than 2 things on my schedule, because I know that the unexpected is going to happen. So I know that there's going to be pop-up meetings with our vendors. I know that there's going to be pop-up meetings with the calls. We have a lot of team leaders. I do not schedule calls with the team leaders. Now, if they because if they call and say, hey, do you have a minute? I'll say, I do in 30 minutes. I do in an hour. Because if I say, I'm going to have a standing appointment with you every Monday at 1:00, then it becomes redundant. And it's like, what is the meeting really about? Like, because you're just really, every week you're meeting and you're doing that. So I like the spontaneity. Is that the word? Like being spontaneous, but I like not having that agenda on my schedule. Now that works for me. Some people need that, but I think that you also have to know who you're dealing with. You know, majority of our agents know that we have an open line of communication. If they need to talk, all they need to do is text and say, hey, do you have a minute? And never have I ever said, no, I don't have a minute. Of course I have a minute. I'll just have to tell you when I have a minute.
Right.
Like,
and you and I, we agree on a lot of things, and there's some things that we disagree.
Yeah.
This works really well for you.
Yeah.
For me, I'm a little bit different.
Yeah. We're very different on this. Yeah.
For me, I like to have things in a schedule so that I can maximize my day.
Right.
So I can get as much accomplished because.
Yeah.
And this goes back to exactly what you said.
Yeah.
You love to work. You don't stop working when you go home.
Yeah.
Late at night, I might want to go golfing and I might want to go fishing.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to maximize the time that I have during, the work hours.
Yeah.
And to get as much as I can out of those, 9, 10 hours so that I can go enjoy for a couple hours of golfing and the fishing.
That triggered me of a memory that I had, because like, I think different stages in your life, you like things differently, or things have to work differently. So I think back to when we lived in Indiana and I helped Dad with Mom. So you and Dad would go golfing at say 1:00 in the afternoon. So I would have to schedule all of my calls in the morning before noon. And I let people know, because I always said, even with clients or even our agents, I never wanted to say I couldn't talk to you because I'm taking care of my mom. I never wanted to say I can't talk to you between this time and this time, because my problem then becomes their problem. And I've been a huge proponent of never tell the people the problems that you're dealing with, because people have problems of their own. They'll say, oh, I'm very sorry. And then it turns into you and them working around your schedule. So I would just purposely schedule these calls. I would schedule these times in the morning. And so at that time, that was much different than how I do things now. But like back then, I scheduled them like that. But now if it was a close friend, they knew why I wasn't taking a call from that 1:00 to 6:00. They knew it was because I was taking care of my mom. But never would I tell a client, would I tell an agent that I didn't have a really close knit relationship with, that sorry, I can't, because then it becomes, oh, I don't want to bother you. And to me, that's, oh my gosh, that's like stabbing me in the heart. If you tell me, oh, I don't want to bother you. Oh, I hate to bother you. It's like, what message am I putting out there that makes you think that you're bothering me? Because I like to think that I'm like, why are people thinking that they bother me when they text me?
Yeah, and see, this is a great message for an advisor who thinks that they need to or want to model their business after someone else's.
Right.
It's okay to look at somebody else's business and point out 1 or 2 or 3 things that you like about the business.
Yeah.
But to, model exactly their business would never work.
No.
Because there's too many different dynamics that comes into play.
Yeah.
Whether you're married or single, whether you have a part-time job or a full-time job, or this is going to be your full-time job.
Kids, no kids.
No kids.
Infants, no older kids.
There's a lot of things that come into play when it comes to, so this is a great example of, back a few years when you were with your mom, your days look totally different than they look right now.
Right.
Today. So.
And I think that's, over the 16, 17 years that Magical Vacation Planner has been in business, I think that if you ask any of our agents, it's been an agent for multiple years, you talk to the ones that's been agents for 12 years, what we used to do, like when our kids were little or younger, or, it's like if we were taking care of our parents or we were doing different things like that, I think that it evolves. My life does not look the same as it did even last year. It doesn't look the year that it did, going into 2019, I knew exactly what I wanted my 2020 to look like. And that didn't happen. I mean, it looked, I mean,
I think we all did.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's the case. So if we don't pivot or we don't know that we're going to be thrown curveballs, I don't want to wake up at a job that I've had for 30 years and it's the same day in and day out. I need it to be different. I need it to evolve. I need it to change. It's funny because like I would say I hate change, but actually I think I like it. Like I've accepted change. And if you do the same thing over and over and you get in your routines or what people call routines, then when something happens or a change happens, it messes up our day. It messes up our plan. It messes up our mind. It messes up everything. So I think that, gosh, it was probably when the My Disney Experience came out, I remember I didn't like it. But there were multiple reasons I didn't like it, but change was probably at the top of that list because I knew I had everything down pat. I mean, I had everything in a row. I knew I did the quote, I did the dining, it was like I had it figured out. It was perfect. Then they throw this curveball and then I had to refigure it out. And then I had to refigure it out. And then I had to refigure it out.
So 2 things. Companies need to change to grow.
Oh, 100%.
If you stay stagnant and you're not changing with the times, with the ages, with the technology, stuff, you're not going to grow.
Right.
That's number 1. Number 2, you probably didn't realize it. When we married, you were changing every year.
100%.
Changed every country that we played in or every place that we teams. So we changed coaches, we changed teammates, we changed countries, friends. We changed a lot. So we really, deep down inside, we were very used to changing a lot.
And I think that maybe that's why when you retired, I think that's maybe why I didn't like it, was because that's all, like we changed. But I think that the faster I accepted that change is not a bad thing, that it's a good thing, it reminds me back to when we started growing and having more team leaders. And, and some of the team leaders, like maybe not the first, like definitely not the first wave, or I mean, maybe they felt some, like they didn't say anything to me, but like, I think it was like the 3rd and 4th wave of team leaders when we announced that we were having the 5th wave. Some of them got an attitude and some of them got mad. Like, well, how many team leaders are you going to have? And I'm like, well, what? I don't understand what it matters. Well, there's going to be too many. Like, oh, so have we already sold out all the rooms at Disney? Like, we've not done that yet. So we've not reached that plateau. But it's funny because like once people get to a level, I think that they don't want anybody else to join the party. And I think that sometimes they see that as competition. And I was like, well, what if we stopped adding team leaders at the second time? You wouldn't be a team leader. How would that make you feel if you never was given that opportunity because the ones before you didn't want us to grow? Like the only way to grow is to teach people how to do it and how to be a good ambassador for MVP. I mean, that's all our MVPs are. They're ambassadors. They're mentors. Our team leaders are ambassadors of the brand. They're mentors in life, in business, in everything. They're they're there to counsel and to mentor and to coach how to take your business to that next level. So I think that change, when I think of it, and I think of the people that's like, well, no, we don't want change. It's like, okay, but what if I didn't change before you came on board? What if we didn't add agents because you felt comfortable with the group that we had? Like change is necessary for growth. And so I think that those are sometimes the hard questions that I get asked, because I think that people don't have it, and they'll say, well, but you don't, I liked it when it was smaller. Okay, but so we shouldn't offer this opportunity to somebody else? Like, I don't know. I think that sometimes change scares us. I think like even with our vendors, it's like, how many more people are you going to put in this program? But, you know, like, it doesn't affect our bottom dollar. I just don't want the attention to not be on us anymore. You know, but it's really a greedy reason.
And that goes back to one of the questions we had in the very last episode was when we talked about the challenges. You know, the challenges to help people realize that, you know, we're trying to impact some people's lives.
Right.
We're trying to help them grow.
Right.
And to help them become ambassadors so that they can share. We're trying to build this thing so that there's a lot of people that's a part of something.
Yeah.
You know, almost like a movement or a change.
Yeah. Making a difference in the world. And so I think that there's a lot of times it's hard because, you know, we like it in our comfort zone. We like, you know, I like being one of the top agencies at some of our vendors. But the fact of the matter is I will become complacent if other people don't come to the party.
Yeah.
And we know that.
So just like we make memories for clients, for family, let's make memories for people in their businesses.
Right.
Let's expand this.
So in closing, work-life balance really is different for everybody. And you have to figure out what works for you and your family. Because ultimately, I have to live with JJ. JJ has to live with me. Our kids have to put up with us, whatever that means. So I think it doesn't look the same today as it will look 5 years from now. It doesn't look the same as it did 5 years ago. Work-life balance is always a moving target, and you have to just find what works for you and your family. Thank you for watching Unscripted with JJ and Jamie, and we can't wait to see you next time.